Hello, hello, hello! I am Kazusagi Usagi, and I am here with more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. We are on the last trial. I think this is going to be a rather short stream, because I think we're almost done with this game. But we will see. Who knows what twists and turns await us in the court. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please tell the court of the results. I am excited. There's a whole nother game. Results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impacts herself. It's a fake. Shit. Order, order. Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? Yeah, it really is. If this was not written by Ms. Impacts, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Correa. Mr. Correa? Well, well. It looks like Miss Impacts never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about Angarde. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Angarde could not have known that, and so the facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. This is true, it doesn't actually change anything. That does sound very plausible. This theory that Angarde has no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Oh, shit. I have to assume. I don't know what I have. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If anything, the prosecution has proven up to this point it's true. Then it's impossible for Mr. Angarde to not have known it was then it's impossible for Mr. Angarde to know that it's a fake. I think they want me to present the camera, which would be crazy. Well, unless you're assuming that he's been spying on Juan for a really long time. Ugh. What is this little item called again, sir? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one. Oh, that's right, a camera. Ah, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Yeah, I guess so. It just seems like absurd that... Because, well, the suicide was 5 years ago? I've already lost track. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. Angarde knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim, isn't that right? If that were true, then that means Mr. Angarde would have known that the victim had forged the note. Ugh. So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Angarde's motive for murder was It has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Unguarded monitored Mr. Correa 24 hours a day. That's what I was saying, Edgeworth. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Unguarded did not know of. You need to have the camera... We'll right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Ugh. This is frustrating. Order, order, order. Mr. Edgeworth, it looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. Ugh. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured. It came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Unguarded's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth stuttering. This is not like him at all. Unusual? What sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, Jesus Christ. Is it Shelley the Killer? That is literally the only character left we have. The witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of the zombie of Mr. Correa. Aw, hell yeah. You know what Phoenix Wright needs? A little bit of necromancy. Who was it that hired Shelley the Killer to commit murder? That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists that can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness? I mean, we technically have a kind of necromancy with all the spirit channeling of all the dead characters that can just talk to us. Yes, go on, who is it? The man himself. The man himself, Mr. Shelley the Killer. The suicide note is fake. And we're getting an assassin to testify against his client. Oh, Mr. the Killer. Wait. Shelley the Killer? You mean the killer? I mean the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here to the witness stand? Well, yes, in a matter of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Oh, well, Mr. Wright. Yes? Is this alright with you? I don't think it matters what the defense wants. Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your, occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm a professional assassin. I don't know what I was expecting, because it really was obvious from all our communication with this man that it was going to be the transmitter. But to see it so large, like a brave little toaster machine, is really absolutely, it's just... My name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm a professional assassin. I say, what is going on here? Your Honor, how can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? This isn't how courts work. feel like now's a little late to be, like, raising the standards for which we do trial in this game. Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. Day Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what the urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh, I thought it was about Gumshoe. You know, who got in a car accident? Oh no, this will not do. No, I can't allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. D. Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelley D. Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! A voice. Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley D. Killer. It looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness, there is one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Correa. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Correa. Oh. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it, a bad dream. Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say? There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And the reason is that I'm here today on the witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp the concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. D. Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, and a killer, Mr. D. Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by his one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. I can't decide if this is better or worse than cross-examining the parrot. I feel perhaps worse. There is something I must first state. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry. Go on. Well, it appears this one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that is why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the D-Killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did, yes, that person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough. Please, no more. Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. And that is the reason I'm here today on this witness stand. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role! This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die? Oh, no, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give you the name of my client. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. Ugh, that egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow, that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra stuff, just tell us the name already. Patience, try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and close, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. Oh, but I've pressed everything. Hear anything? You understand? Did I miss one? Trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. These are the roles and duties an assassin and his client are to carry out. Oh. Alright. I'm sorry, but I was just wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person. I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience, who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose this information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value your trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Well, he's going to lie. And that is the reason why I'm here today on this witness stand. Now then, I do believe it's about time I revealed the name of my client. Don't you agree? What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness! What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Correa? He's gonna say Adrian Andrews. The person's name is... Adrian Andrews. Well, he's lying, you witness. That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. Oh my god, Edgeworth. Jesus Christ, I'm so mad at everybody in this goddamn courtroom. He has kidnapped Maya so that Engarde, as leverage so that Engarde gets a not guilty verdict. He wasn't gonna walk in here, Maya's still kidnapped, and say otherwise. Of course he's going to lie. How did not every... like, of course he's... Of course he's gonna lie. And he just went through the whole spiel about why it was important that he protects his clients. I'm gonna fight everybody in the Z. I'm disappointed in Edgeworth specifically. This can't be! On the phone earlier! What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? No, Edgeworth took that knife and lined it up just for Shelly the Killer. He's like, go ahead, take a stab. I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Matt Engarde, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who summoned this witness. You, Shelly the Killer. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt Engarde, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. Me too, man. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. But what? We shouldn't want to win this. Stupid killer. Yeah. Wow. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definite of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client, and there's no reason he would lie. Mr. the Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No! With all this evidence, it's obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt Engarde is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, Engarde will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah. But Mr. Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And Engarde, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelly the Killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. The testimony just now. It was all one big lie. Miss Andrews, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Wanstead, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client. Thank you for putting beans back in the bean economy. No, that's not true. Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button, donning the nickel samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impact has was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. I know. Mr. Wright! You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please, help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Oh no, I'm sorry. I guess, I feel like if I cross the verdict, it's game over. Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Matt Angarde is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I'm no better than Angarde. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten Angarde convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do. You fucking idiot. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But the witnesses cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. It is. I'm not done yet. To see through the witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. DeKiller. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you need from me was the name of my client. What else could you need for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is, how things are usually done. What is he talking about, usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. DeKiller, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder that no one likes to go to court? As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the beginning that that Juan Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is a most unexpected turn of events for the 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes 2 of us. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However... What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit. Yes. How much is your fee? I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. Oh, no, I'm not thinking of hiring. Mr. Wright. Yes. You want to kill me. You want me dead, don't you? Why would you think something like that? You're guilty, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You are hereby declared guilty. Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? One thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah, well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. Sorry, that took me by surprise. I do the murder, but I'm not bad guy. It's those sickos that want people to be dead to begin with. That goes without saying, Mr. T. Killer. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt. My client did it to frame another for the crime. I do bad things, but I'm not bad guy. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things easy. My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi, too. No. I already told you, I have no intention of using your services ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? Adrian Andrews already knew from the beginning that Juan Corredo was dead. From the very beginning. And that is correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. Oops. So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who had requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Angarde. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. My job is to kill. That is all. And to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. And that's all you have to testify? Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again. As in you plan to continue? I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Excuse me? No, I'm fine, really. Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do now is expose the lies. That's true. However, you realize that that will be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused. But one thing I know for sure is that I can't let this trial end yet. Shit. I definitely didn't miss any this time. I have to disprove this, I think. It's gonna be... I have to go back to when this case first happened. Oh, the juice! He brought in the juice. She said that she poured him juice because she thought he was passed out. That's believing her testimony? Thank you so much for taking this time to testify, Mr. Day Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Correa had been murdered. But how? How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? Mr. Day Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Correa had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't this just part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would have never left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Correa's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. I don't understand why we simply don't tell this man that Engarde was taking pictures of the murder because that's definitely what he did. And then we end this once and for all and we stop fucking around. That's what I would simply do. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix? No, but that's not it. If we tell the killer that his client was taking pictures of him doing a murder, that's a breach of contract. I guarantee it. And then the killer doesn't owe Engarde anything, and he lets Maya go regardless. Because he broke the contract. Because Engarde was taking pictures of the murder to make sure that the killer was doing what he was supposed to be doing. I know it's not... He's all about this whole trust thing. That's what he just talked about. If we can end their contract, then we don't have to worry about time. Because he would break the contract like he's claiming to do with Adrian right now. I simply don't understand why we don't talk about that. Right, because, like, That's why I'm so baffled that we aren't bringing that up, because he's right now ending his contract with Adrian because of stuff that she did. We just have to make him break his contract with Angarde. Hello, Phoenix, right? If the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. But that's not the kind of person he is. He is a killer, but he not bad guy. He only kills clients. Oh, and then he did a kidnap. But I don't think he was ever actually gonna kill Maya. She definitely has. Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. Well, that was awfully weak for the two of you. Anyway, I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now, I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of an awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. This request came to me, about a week ago. 1 week ago? Are you sure? Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please stop. In any case, my client this time held a very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request, but as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Correda's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. He must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to this hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference after all. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where the bear figurine was. I see. But that bear was in Matt Correda's room. Or not Matt Angarde's room. Or his house, really. Well, Mr. Wright, was that testimony of any importance? I don't know. The testimony just now made one thing clear, and that is the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh. Why is everyone so quiet? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. Wow, okay. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. I guess it wasn't important. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was with that brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Was that testimony just now of any importance? I don't think he knows what she looks like. Of course. It was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. D. Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see? It's just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, would the witness please continue? That is what occurred when I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. So your client was Adrian Andrews? That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met, but if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. Fuck. Is it not important? Will I get different dialogue? Brief pause. What imagination. Can we believe that your testimony up to this point has been reliable? Fuck. I'm a bit at a loss. Something I'm missing as far as a week ago. Barely requests, specific time and date. Request for my services. Did you ask why? No. Suspicions. Request further. So what you're saying is suspicions you had. What? Oh, I might have. So what were these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Wonkrita's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. Naturally, the victim... That is correct, and if it had not done the job that night, I would not have known where the bear figurine was. Okay, so I said it was important last time. It is not important. What D. Killer said sounds plausible, but... in the end, it's just his own conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think this is very important. Well, then the witness please continue. Well, shit. I should draw. Physically met Adrian Andrews. Pause. Witness. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by phone or mail. That's because I value the trust between a client and myself. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Should I say it's not important this time? Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. Well, what do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought, I can trust this person as a client. It's true that they say talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? He doesn't know who Adrian Andrews is. If I have heard what I just think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now is of the utmost importance. Oh, really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought, I can trust this person as a client. I don't think I need to... I think I can just... Okay. Oh. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took their request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one would have told you that she's a woman. Oh. Order, order. Order in the courtroom. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? The witness testified to the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor. That is exactly the point. That means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? It's leaking. Don't be rude, Sprightly. Just don't look at it. I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unlucky for Mr. DeKiller. The entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelley DeKiller, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more, so I can say the correct gender. I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took the job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. That contradicts literally everything he has already told us. So you took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony. Which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know, I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Yes, now I remember, I took that request by mail. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now. Let's stop with the game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. D. Killer met his client? I'm sorry, Your Honor. I unfortunately don't have any proof. I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. Oh, God. Just sometimes. There have been times when I took a job without having met my clients. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests. If I met with each and every client, I could lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities! On top of which, the times have changed. It is now with the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times now and take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? Oh, I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what's commonly referred to as email. Oh, email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot, hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and... The request was for the murder of Juan Correa and 2 or 3 other small things. 2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. I'm going to press further. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes. Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client, which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber, and should you turn out to be one... Wait... Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck, alright? I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Yes. Witness, this is a very, very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what those jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine. After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Correa's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just said in your testimony. As you wish. But this bear figurine was at that dude's house. One of these was to find the bear figurine and give it to Adrian Andrews. I found this figurine at Mr. Angarde's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. Why? That was also part of the plan, to frame Mr. Angarde, I'm sure. No, wait! Alright. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? I do. It's no use. As long as I can't put my finger on the central problem here, pressing this witness would be extremely dangerous. It appears that Mr. Wright has no problem. Well then, witness, please continue. Aside from it's being stupid to meet in Matt Angarde's house, I don't think I have the information I need to say why that's a problem. So frustrating because I feel like I know what's gonna happen. That I don't know. We've talked about how the thin cuts make it a puzzle box. Yeah. Oh, fuck. God damn it. That is not what I wanted to do. Fuck. I wanted to flip the fucking thing over. I keep hitting the wrong buttons in this godforsaken video game. Shelley did kill her. If you had really given this bear to Miss Andrews... Wait, what? What's happening? Then this item should not have been inside it. Was I supposed to present the bear? Why was I supposed to present the bear? We just... Jesus Christ. You know what? This all worked out very fine. I didn't mean to present the bear. I wanted to flip over and look at names. This item, I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Man, I don't fucking know, Judge. Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. Oh. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Oh, this is all very good points. Order, order, order. So that's what you two were going to do. So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disable the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Holy shit. That shit never even occurred to me. I didn't even think about that. I was just trying to flip over for the names. Order, order, order. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Man, I wish that had happened when I accidentally presented my attorney's badge. You know, like an idiot. It just was right, magically. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. Oh, Maya's dead. No, please. Not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... Oh no, he's yelling. What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... the prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even you were. The prosecution rests. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. If I end this trial here right now, then your client, Matt Angarde, would be declared innocent, and in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. I guess we're just trading one life for another, eh? The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear our defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt Angarde, to the stand. The items from the killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. So, her whole you could do what you want holds a lot more weight when that's her sister that's about to be absolutely murked. Dude, did that old guy finally decide? Oh. To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Huh. So, I guess even the old fudgy judgy figured me out. Mr. Angarde. What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap, it's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? You'd better get Angarde a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged with murder. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matangarde, is innocent. Huh. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right? I can't do this, but I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Ungarde, is... Oh, shit. I feel like this is like a game ender. Yeah, I guess it's gotta be guilty, right? Edward worked really hard to help us. And we can't... Maya said... Yeah. I touched this one. Who is it? I do love Edgeworth. What are you waiting? We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matangarde, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt Ungarde is...
Objection!
Francisca von Karma! What the fuck is happening? What are you doing? You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here, in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of his items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is! Aren't these the stolen evidence from the police department? That's Gumshoe. I can spot the tattered rags anywhere. My apologies for its ugliness. There was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial, all for what's inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains for me is to lay down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What? Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right. But Mr. Edgeworth, I grant you permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Oh shit. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by D. Killer during his escape from the police. He must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. D. Killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around, like a miracle. I'm sure of it. This is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. He left his gun behind? Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? I don't think so. More details are not needed. I'm pretty sure there was no gun involved in this case. There's no real benefit to hearing about it. Please prevent the next piece of evidence. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from the Inn Guard mansion. The videotape might be important. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Shelley the Killer is no ordinary man. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? I don't think that's... It's the tape. The tape is what I was trying to talk about before. Where I was like, this is how we should do it. I don't think this is going to help us much at all. Thank you very much, Miss Von Karma. I think that's enough. That is all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. That's not true. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down. Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. Hello! But no matter how you think about it, it has been a while. I hope you've been doing well. Try, for my sake, just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first. Make Engarde wish for the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Engarde himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with Engarde. If the killer were to no longer think of Engarde as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible. No, it's not! Ah! I'm so frustrated. He is a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I have been not too bad, thank you. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is... Oh my god, please, let me just show this tape. The judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We have seen all the pieces of evidence, and that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who is yet to see them all, and that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about a miracle in the end. What the fuck is everybody? Just let me show the tape. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I am not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. I think my greatest big dick play was accidentally preventing evidence that moved us along. I am truly amazing. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. Oh, one chance. Please show evidence. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. What? I don't have that button option. That's impossible. To turn the situation around in one try. One try. One shot. One kill. That is all I will permit. I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking Engarde down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to? Wait, don't press wrong buttons. I have to pay attention. Because miracles won't happen twice. Oh, it's this man. That he has two profiles is very rude. I see. And now, tell this court what the one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. I almost hit E without clicking the evidence. If I could have remembered the song better. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. They're being purposely vague and I don't appreciate it. Yes, this evidence and this person. Bailiff Priest bring the transceiver from earlier. Alright. It looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. He is a receiver, by the way. I don't know how I'm supposed to show him a video. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. I wish we wouldn't call it radio sweat hole. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by my client not to watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you were on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Nani the fuck? Is this true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have planted a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. The delayed Your Honor. God. Yes, sir. Your client specified a specific place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Matt Engarde film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole fucking mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. They wanted blackmail on you. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come on, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. I forgot he actually told me that. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the Killer? Oh no, he's broke. It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes. You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that is right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the Killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Ah, it's already turned around. Are you fucking kidding me? Mr. Wright. Yes. My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness. Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Mr. Ongarde, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Ugh. Help me! Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this alright with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Venus, and plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Madame Garde, even though I am a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here. Me? My wonderful self? Guilty? Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot out on the side of the detention center, your life would be in danger, no matter which way you look at it. You can't run away from your crime anymore. But then Adrian Andrews goes to prison, right? That's super fucked up. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt and Garner? I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society now for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her and told her to kill herself. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Man, this was absolute savage. Edgeworth has been so on point this entire trial. But after that, when I was alone in the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. I know, this game is a lot of talking. I was gonna do... It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. I genuinely don't care. But everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You want them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Goodbye! Thank you for stopping by. And don't be a stranger. Yes, I understand now. Oh, thank you for the sippy. I'm literally... My voice is leaving me. Phoenix, think back for a second. Oh, another sip. Oh, so many sippies. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. I am hydrated. Hydrate me. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life? My client, Matt Engarde, Is he guilty, or is he not guilty? Those were your choices, then. And your answer? Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Right. Edgeworth. I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody. Really? Pearls, you're telling the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. She's quite safe. She is on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Yeah, Mystic Maya's safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick! Wow, she punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. Ah! Thanks. Oh! What's wrong? Miss Von Karma. About earlier, thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy. This woman's priorities are so off the wall. I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you? How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth. for my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood to face against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner, and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. Huh, as well you should have. A prosecutor who has shaved himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, and instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is fight with the knowledge we hold everything we have, and hold everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. This, I promise you. The truth. Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you know that already, didn't you, Wright? And that's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory. Who ran away in the night. Oh, is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Von Karma. I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. A Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Francisca threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. Isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this right. Okay. Nick! Maya. Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got Engarde convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You knew I would never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this trial. You really are lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is that really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! I'm relieved you're alright. Hey, it looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Oh. Alright, I think it's time we go out of this depressing place. Huh. Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Crumb! Chow! I'm starved. I'm so hungry, even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please! If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up the usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick! Food! This is where we want to have fucking food? Oh, Gumshoe. Look at his hair. Hey, pal, sorry to keep you guys waiting. He's alive. Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? And it wasn't a red light that got him? You did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was going to give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? No, he shot Von Karma. And then Gumshoe just hit a pole. Yeah. That's your man, Sprightly. That's your boy. If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might even kick it. Tonight, even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone's gathering around. Y'all gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta brought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective. What, me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Oh, well, you know, it's... Oh, wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from D. Killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item? Aw, come on, y'all. It's over. Oh, boy. I tell ya, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days, weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So, to keep my mind off things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had a rough gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Oh, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. It sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. Oh Lord, is she coming? Huh. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. Ah! That's Miss Von Karma's receiver! Oh, thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here? This tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have work to do. Oh, but Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't eaten anything yet. And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I just wanted to say... Thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. How do you feel about bears? I have to pick something out of my garbage pockets to show a man how I feel? If you if you ever leave me again, fucking Edgeworth, I swear to God, I swear to God. There's a lot of bad answers. I have no idea. I feel like probably the attorney's badge is the right thing to go. There's a lot of wrong answers, a lot of good answers, and only one correct answer. You can also give him the whip. We could tell him that we're ready to put our relationship on the next level and start introducing new elements into it. So I'm tempted to, this is a very out of the blue question, because nothing in our evidence really. So I genuinely, if it's not the attorney's badge, then it is probably genuinely the whip, because that's, there's some weird relationship that hasn't been talked about, and I don't know if it will ever be talked about, between Von Karma, Francisca, and Edgeworth. Because she said that he was her little brother, despite he's like 10 years older than her. Which makes me think they grew up together. Which is weird. But then he was like, I don't know, they speak about Von Karma, and she called him a Von Karma. There's something here that wasn't talked about, or I missed it completely. So, Francisca and Edward, they're weird childhood friends, at the very least. And they gave us the whip and then put it in our inventory, so it would be weird not to use it. And if it's wrong, then it's funny. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. I don't know if that was right. It looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. We should have given him the gun. Hey, Mystic Maya. Yes, Pearly. Only if there was special dialogue attached to it. It could have been the usual, that's the wrong stuff, and it wouldn't have been as funny. I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean? Pearly! Would you cut that out already? You're embarrassing me. Anyway. So who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh? Oh yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here, and it'd be better anyhow for $3,000. Huh? Ha ha! Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. What? Isn't that great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Yeah, I don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out. This is going to be the first time I hear the real you. Go on. It's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then. If you say so. That was a lot. You really came through for me, Nick. Oh, I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. It was so much. I can't imagine what a 3rd game's going to have in store. I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the 2 of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners, so I sort of made reservations for the 2 of you, just in case. Pearls, you gotta stop that. The last case is always buck wild. Because, like, you've got that first starting case. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief and got me reinstated. I heard he say things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. It's like you have the first case that reintroduces you how to play the game. And then the second and third case are kind of like, blah. And then the last case is crazy. I, Maggie Bird, am retiring this uniform as of today. I'm going to be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to the people. I hope you'll stop by sometimes, Mr. Wright. God. I can't imagine what happens in the 3rd game. I'm really excited, though. Yes, are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Hottie. Oh, recently. Yes, that girl, you know. I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember. If I ever laid so much as an eye on her, I would go crack. Didn't matter if I got whipped, though. Yes. We need less characters like this. We had Salmonella last game. Now this man. It's time to begin our quest of world circus domination, and to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe. Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk? I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at most jokes. Bunnies that can talk. Such fantasy, such splendor. I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm gonna be more contemporary with my human. Mo Curls, represent! We've got our new act all worked out. Prepare for the Hallelujah chorus. Say something, Willie. You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. Who would believe such a thing? What's this, Drat? It's just an ordinary electric razor recharging. I can't believe this. Really, how long do they plan on making me do this? Oh, but it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it must have a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? Oh, I was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used to call me Queen Wendy and treat me like royalty. I hope she's not in the third game. I need a break from this woman. I don't want any more Lotta, and I don't want any more Wendy. I'm like begging. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. Damn, Von Karma really took to that lady. I hope they get married. I think Von Karma deserves a nice girlfriend. It's become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity. Fucking website. Where are you going, Francisca? How did you know I was here? With this. That's... I heard you were planning certain things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage, but it's going into the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from D. Killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up. You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. I know. Francisca. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me? I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Holy shit, would we have not gotten this scene if we had fucked around? Jesus. I'm so glad we still technically fucked around. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? Nope. I was tempted to give you a gun. So... I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what should be striking down, about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth. I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. And that was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today, you chased after me, after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit, you walk down the prosecutor... if you say you're going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma. Oh! I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now. So you would better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Oh, no. Phoenix Wright. One day. It's harder, like, she is only like 18. I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Yeah, I figured it was Maya's drawing. Well, whew. And then we start Trials and Tribulations. Don't just start. Oh, look at this! We start Trials and Tribulations next week. Look at Phoenix and Mia. I wonder if this is a flashback trial to learn how to be a prosecutor, or to learn how to play the game. That would be super cute. Oh, I'm so intrigued. Yeah, if she's here, I have to assume it's a flashback. Oh, I'm excited. But thank you so much for being here. These games are crazy. So, after Trials and Tribulations, I was going to do Danganronpa, because I've never played those games, but I think I need a break on the voice, so I will try and, I'll think of something else to play as a in-between between the two lawyer games. Yeah, I've never played Danganronpa, but I've heard a lot about them. Not like plot-wise, just character-wise. So I'm very excited, but I think I need probably an in-between for, just to rest. So I will think of a shorter in-betweeny game. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Alright, I will be back in about 2 hours with more, what's that game? Oh, Nier Replicant. So, thank you so much for being here. This has been a fucking trip. So I'm excited for more of it. I hope you all have a lovely afternoon, and I will see you soon. Goodbye!